Hello and welcome to the Martial Arts Edge. My name is Coach Larry and I'm super pumped that you are here right now. That's right. This is class number 2 of a 6-part series where we go over the basics in martial arts. If you haven't already, make sure you check out class number 1. I'll put the link up here and also down there for you. It's an introductory lesson into what this 6-week course is all about. Don't miss it. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and ding that bell for me so that way you get notified of all the cool videos that we come out with just for you. That's right, you. Now, today we are going to be practicing the 3 basic punches. I'm going to teach you how to punch. It's going to be awesome. And then I'm going to be going over 4 different combinations for you to help practice those punches so you can get better faster. And I'm going to give you the tips so that way you're not building any bad habits. So that way you can practice and make sure you're laying the foundation for some solid technique. Okay, so hey, if you're ready, let's get started. So the very first punch I want to show you is something called a jab. Now, I am working with a Wavemaster 2XL Pro here. If you don't have one of these, don't worry. And if you want to see all the cool stuff that this bag is about, I have a link right up there in the card. And I'll also put that down in the description. I do a review on one of these if you're thinking about picking them up, okay? I also highly recommend if you're working on a bag that you get some gloves. Now, these are some fairly inexpensive gloves that you can get that will last you a while. I'm going to be doing a review on these shortly, and when I have it, look in the description, I'll update it. All right, so first, if you don't know how to make a fist, you must have missed our very first video, which is up there in the description. You want to make sure that you know how to properly make a fist, especially if you don't have boxing gloves. So how you make a fist, I'm gonna do this really simple. What you do is you curl your fingers down. You want to keep them nice and tight. Curl them down until you hide your fingernails. Once you hide your fingernails, you want to take your thumb and reach it over your first finger until the tip of your thumb touches your middle finger. This is how you make a good fist. Now, you're punching with this very first knuckle. Just like if you're pointing at the camera, you want to point wherever you're going to hit with that very first knuckle. When I point, that ensures that I'm hitting with a straight wrist and that I'm punching with this very first knuckle. What most people do when they punch, they end up punching like this. And they'll knock instead of punch. So you want to be very, very careful of that. So how we throw a jab is pretty simple. What we're going to do is we're going to keep our hands up by our cheeks. This is what we call a guard stance. We just take our right foot and we step back a little bit. Not too far, just a little bit, and we'll bring our hands up here. I want you to take your chin and I want you to hide it behind your lead shoulder. I want you just to dip it down a little bit and kind of shrug your shoulders. Just like this. This is the basic guard position. When we throw a jab, what we're going to do is we're going to take our front hand and we're going to step and punch and then bring it right back. I want you to make sure that you're punching on a straight line and that you're not pulling it back to hit. This is not a power shot. I mean, it could have power behind it, don't get me wrong, but this is all about quick. We use a jab to either create distance, to close distance, or to create openings, okay? The 3 C's. To create distance, if somebody's coming at you, I can jab and back up. This keeps them away from me. If I want to get in on somebody, I'm going to throw a jab so I can close distance, so I can get closer to them. And then it creates openings by if I jab and they move to defend, it opens up for another punch or jab, hook, one of my favorite combinations. So we're going to be working on the jab really quick, okay? So I'm going to use the bag. So like I said before, you don't have to have a bag, but if you do, it's going to be helpful. Now, from here, if you notice, if I just throw my punch, I'm not hitting. And I'm not terribly far away. I'm just outside of what we call the red zone. That's the zone in which my partner can hit me, okay? If I can tag them, they can tag me. So I want to make sure I'm just outside of that red zone. So if I go to hit, I can't hit them, and they can't hit me either, okay? I'm going to get to that guard position. I'm going to be right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to step and jab and then come back. And if you notice my shoulders, as I jab, I turn into it. And then I come back. Turn and then back. Turn and then back. If I throw a little pepper with it, I breathe. So I want you to do it. All right, so let's work on just throwing that jab, just out and back, just a couple times. Ready? And go. Good. Go. 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 So your punch travels straight out and straight back. Straight out and straight back. You don't want to hit and then drop it. It's one of the biggest problems that I see with people throwing their jab. They hit, boom, and jab. So you want to hit and return. Hit and return. I'm turning my shoulder, so when I hit, I'm actually using my body to go into it. So I'm hitting, boom, I'm turning. This also loads up the other punch, which is right here. So keep on going, a couple more jabs. 1, good, 2, 3, make sure you breathe. 4, 5, keep it going. 6, 7, 8, boom, 9, boom, 10, boom, 11, boom, keep going. 12, boom, 13, boom, 14, boom, 15. That's right. Come on, keep going. 17, 18, boom, 19. That's it. Keep it up. 20, boom, nice. Just like that. Now, if you notice as I'm punching, I'm also snapping it out there. I don't want to hit and then slowly pull it back. I want to go out fast, boom, back fast. Out fast, back fast, boom. A good snap with that punch. So as you're practicing, make sure you're snapping and pulling it back to get right back to the guard, because as I extend, my body's open, the side of my head might be a little bit open, so I pull it back fast so I can get back to that position, back to that guard position. It's what we call home base, right here. This is where everything's protected. So you want to get back here as fast as you can. So there's your jab, make sure you practice that. All right, the second punch is going to be your cross. You really have to develop a good cross. Any good boxer knows that that cross is the cleanup hit. That's the one that's going to knock that home run out of here. That's the one that you want. You really want to develop good mechanics with your cross. If you develop a good mechanic with your cross, you're not just punching with your arm, you're punching with your whole body. And a lot of it is set up by that initial punch, that jab. So a cross from here is going to be utilizing something called pivot. It's a really important concept. Now, if you watch my hips on this, I'm going to be transferring some power, some energy through my hips into my arm and into the back. So a cross is I turn my hip. I really rotate. I pivot my body into this. This punch comes straight from the cheek to the bag. Straight from the cheek to the bag, and then return on that same line. Straight out, straight back. Straight out, straight back. And again, you want to keep that body in that good guard position. So from here, I rotate out, rotate back. Notice my chin is always protected. I'm not doing this. Here, I'm not dropping this hand. I'm keeping it up. This is protecting home base. 1, and then 2, just like that. So you can see it from here. Boom, I'm protected. I'm punching, looking straight on down that arm, and then coming back. So I have my cross and return. Cross, return. Notice how my hips turn. Right now you can't see my belly button. Boom, now you can see my body. It's a rotation. Pow. Practice the technique with me. From here, keep that position up, shrug the shoulders, hide that chin behind that shoulder, and cross. Boom. And pull it back. Cross. Boom. Pull it back. Notice I'm keeping my body, my head nice and covered. Cross. Boom. Cross. Boom. Cross. Good, just like that. So now let's practice. I'm going to use the bag. You can face the TV or face your computer, face your phone, and just practice just like this. So from here, right now I'm in that position. The reason why I want to pivot, let's think about this. If I just throw my hand, I can't hit the bag. Right? But when I pivot, see how much further I'm able to get? That pivoting allows me to really turn and get a lot of distance on that back. So even my front hand is out. When I turn, see how much further I'm able to get with my back arm? Just by rotating my body. That rotation really allows me to push into that bag. And if you notice my body too, my body weight is not just stationary here. As I throw that cross, my body weight actually pushes forward. So this means I'm not punching with just the weight of my arm. I'm punching with the whole weight of my body. I'm pushing my body forward with my back leg. That's why I pivot. I'm here. Boom, pivot. Boom, pivot. Just like that. So that's gonna help you get a lot more power. All right, so let's get about 20 good punches, good crosses on this bag. And if you're just practicing at home, just face towards the screen, okay? If you don't have a bag, just practice in the screen. All right, 20 good punches. And, ready? Just crosses and go. 1, good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Make sure you breathe each and every time. Gotta breathe. When you breathe out, it forces you to breathe in. And go. 11, good. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good job. Just like that. So there is your cross. All right, and then the third basic punch that we're going to work on is a hook. Now, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a hook punch confuses so many people, and it's really not that hard. The goal is to want to put weight behind the hand. And what I mean, a hook punch looks like this. Right now, from your guard stance, when I throw a punch, I'm just hooking here. I'm just coming straight up, boom, over top. Now, what's going to happen is people will start to do what we call cocking the arm. It's like, think about it as a pistol, and you're cocking back the hammer. You're pulling it back so you can hit. You don't want to do that. When you cock your arm back, you actually put your arm in a dangerous position. Your arm does not want to be hit in this position. It's really going to stress out your shoulder. So if I'm working on a bag and I cock and I turn into it, I'm putting all that pressure on my shoulder, and you're going to start developing some injuries in your shoulder, and we don't want that, especially if you have weak shoulders. So you want to make sure that you turn your body. My hand will always be in my center for the most part. It deviates a little bit, but not too much. So from here, I'm going to lift my elbow up, get my elbow behind my hand, and then I start to rotate my body. This is where the punch comes into play. Here. Get my elbow behind my fist, okay? And notice I still keep my guard. My feet just rotate, and then I come back. Hook, back, hook, back, hook, hook, just like that. So one of the questions I always get is, well, how do you hit? Do you hit with your hand like this, or do you hit with your hand like this? And for me, it depends on the situation. So for instance, if I'm really close and I'm going a low punch, I'm hitting like this, like I'm drinking a glass of milk. Milk does a body good. That was my public announcement for the day. So when I'm really close, I'll hit like this. Here, even up high, I'll hit like this because it's easier for me to direct that first knuckle. However, when it's far away, it's hard for me to do that. If I'm a little bit further away, I can't really hit like that, or else I'll be knocking on the bag, and I don't want to knock. So that's when I get further away, I'll turn and I'll hit like this, here, okay? Because I'm always aiming with that first knuckle. So there's a hook. That's how you're going to do a hook. From here, boom, out. Or if I'm in close and going low, hit, come back, hit, hit. But you have to rotate your body. Rotate your body. If you can see your back shoulder in a mirror when you're doing this, you're not doing it right. Okay, you're doing it like this. I don't want that. I want you to turn. Your body is the one that hits. You tighten up your shoulders, tighten up your core, and then you rotate, boom, into that punch. Okay, so let's do a couple on the back. So from here, that left leg is forward, right leg is back, hands are up, and I'm going to get fairly close to the bag. Okay, because remember, typically in a hook punch, I've already done a cross, I'm already close. So from here, I'm rotating, 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 rotating. There we go, keep on going. A couple more good hooks, okay? And breathe. Lift that elbow. Just like that. Keep it going. Get low. When you tighten up your core as you're punching, when you make contact with it, your body isn't loose. It all becomes one solid motion. It ties everything together. So as you hit, bam, you tighten up that core super hard. And that way, if it has to move here, it's going to have to move your shoulder. If it moves your shoulder, it has to move your core. So when you tighten everything up, boom, it locks everything in place and makes it super strong. That's how you can generate some power with your punches. So that is your hook. Practice it, get good with it, and now we're gonna give you some combinations to throw with it. Alrighty, so the very first combination that I want you working on is putting together the jab and the cross. A really good way to practice this is just in the mirror. When you're practicing and you don't have a bag, just practicing the ability to get into that guard stance, hide your chin, and to focus on straight down the pipe, then come back. 1, 2, boom, like a heartbeat. Ta-ta, ta-ta, good, ta-ta. Now notice one thing that I do, every time I punch, I rotate my thumb down. It's not like this, it's here. And then when I punch again, I rotate straight out. And if you notice my head doesn't stay on the same line, okay? 1, see how it kind of slips off the side just a little bit? 1, and then it goes to the other side. 2, right here. 1, 2, good, just like that. 1, 2, 1, 2, just like that. So it's a really easy combination to practice, especially if you have a mirror. You can just make sure that your head is protected at all times. Boom, protected, protected. Good. If ever you're doing this, see how my head comes up? This is dangerous. You'll get hit like this. So you want to make sure, pop, pop, you're protecting the entire time. Think of it like you're a turtle and you're putting half your head in your shell, just like this. Bending your knees and stepping out, turning your shoulders and rotating into that cross, just like that. So if you have a bag, this is really easy. It's just a really fun little combination. You can do this in a lot of different ways. I just want you right now, until you get used to it, just to practice just throwing jab cross. It's just like this. From here, I get into my position. Notice I'm not close enough to actually hit it. This forces me to close distance with my jab. Jab, cross, and then come right back. Ready? Jab cross, come back. Jab cross, come back, come back, come back, just like that. So this helps me kind of get that rhythm. Now, if you want to make this a little bit more exciting and you want to add some exercises with it, one drill I love to do is I'll do 4 and then 4. So 4 combinations. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll come back here, I'll drop down, kick back, then I'll do 4 mountain climbers where I bring one knee up. I go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll come right back up, get in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Come back from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Come back up, just like that. So you do a 4 and 4. An excellent combination for you, 1, to build cardio, 2, to build good rhythm, but it's a really good exercise to do for maybe a minute, or maybe even a good Tabata. So try that, practice it, and let me know how you do. And the next boxing combination we are going to be working on is a jab, jab, cross. We're going to be utilizing the double jab to close the distance. This is also a good way to put your opponent, to put your partner, to put your sparring partner on a defensive. And it has an amazing ability to be able to open up different areas of the body. So what does it look like? So we get to our guard position and our chin is dipped. Every time we throw our hand, we're going to be scooting forward with that front foot. So remember, this is not a walk. This is just taking your front foot and stepping forward and sliding your back foot. Just like you're scooting up, right? That's it, scooting up, okay? Now, my hands are up. When I punch, I scoot, scoot, just like that. Now, think of this as a ta-ta, ta-ta, ta-ta. This is not ta-ta, not like that. It's a heartbeat, papa, 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 ta-ta, just like that, ta, ta, just like that. Now, when you do that, imagine if someone sees that coming at them, they're going to lift their hands. Or if you do it low, pop, pop, do these low jabs to the stomach. So on the bag, it looks like this, pop, pop, pop. That's a jab, jab, cross, pop, pop, pop. Now, I notice it's not this, ha, ha. It's not there. It's pop, 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 just like that. Just a little pop, pop, boom, just like that. So again, a good way to practice this one is just getting that good guard stance around the body, around the bag. Just move. If I'm moving here, just moving, and then pop, pop, boom. Come back. Always get back to your spot. Move around a little bit. Maybe do a little bob and weave a little bit, and pop, pop, boom. Just close distance. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll hit pop, pop out here, and then rotate it into that cross and hit the bag. Excellent way for you to generate some power, but also close a lot of distance. You can even vary up where you put that jab. Maybe I go jab, jab, cross to the head. Maybe I go jab, jab, cross to the body. Excellent way for you to lift somebody's hands up and then bam, hit them right in the belly, right? Or I may go low, high, cross. Low, high, cross. Just like that, or high, low, cross. Lots of different variables you can do with this. The more comfortable you get with it, the more you can play with it, and the better you get at it, okay? So just remember, a boxing combination is putting a series of punches together to create openings, to create an opportunity, and that's it. So just practice that combination. Another common 3-punch combination is your jab, cross, hook. And this is as easy as it gets. This is as boxing as it gets, the jab, cross, hook. Very simple. It's just jab, cross, hook. Just like that. Jab, cross, hook. Now, it doesn't matter where the hook goes to. If you just punch all upper body, all to the head, totally fine. I like varying it a little bit. I like practicing or training my body that I may have a body target open here, or I may have a head target open here. I'm going to train both ways. It gives me the ability to react on the fly if you train that way. But if you train just one way, that's the only way you're going to throw it. So vary it up a little bit, okay? So from here, the jab, cross, hook. Step out, jab, cross, and then I rotate my body, I lift my elbow, hook, just like that. Now notice I did not cock my arm. What that means is I didn't pull it back. So jab, straight from my cheek, straight from my cheek, straight from my cheek. I did not pull it back to hit, okay? So again, from here, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good, and get right back. And 1, 2, 3. Get right back. Good, I'll do it from the angle so you can see. And 1, 2, 3. Just like that. If you don't have a bag, that is okay. I don't want you to think you have to have one of these. It just gives you good feedback so you can actually hit something. And I like wearing the gloves too. Even if I don't have a bag, I like wearing gloves because it gives me that little extra weight to train with. And then when you take them off, it feels like, a little rubbery a little bit. It's pretty good, okay? So again, here we go. Jab, cross, hook. Again, make sure you breathe. Rotate your body. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Just like that. Jab, cross, hook. Again. Vary it up a little bit. That time I went low on the cross. High jab, low cross, high hook. When you're sparring, sometimes it's really good. Remember, think about your punches are all there to open up different parts of the body. If I punch high, arms are going to lift, or they're going to lift up. If I punch low, arms are going to drop. They're going to protect, leaving the head open. So you'll typically see a low, low, or high, low, high combination. It's just going to help you open up the targets a little bit better. So that jab, cross, hook demonstrates that point perfectly. If I just punch to the head, I don't learn too much. You learn how to throw the punches, don't get me wrong. But if you vary it up, you really start working on how to open up different parts of the body. And you start seeing targets, and that's what you want to do. In boxing combination number 4, this is just a great exercise. This is a jab, cross, hook, cross. This one is just 4 punches just to gas you out, but really good way for you to build the mechanics of rotating the body. Because if you do it right and you tighten up your core, every punch will feed the next. So from here, if you watch me, I'm going to go jab, cross, hook, cross. Notice I'm constantly doing this, right? That rotation is how I'm transferring energy into my punch. You never just want to be punching with your arms, and that's one of the biggest mistakes people make. When they first start boxing, they just start doing this. They just start punching with their arms. And it has nothing to do with it. It's not good technique. You're wasting so much more energy than you need to. You don't need to waste that much energy. All you need to do is use your body, right? Use your whole body as you punch. I don't punch with my arm. I punch with my whole body. But all the weight, all the momentum, all the energy behind that into that one little knuckle. And that is how you transfer power. It's called kinetic energy. So from here, if you just watch, 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. Rotate that body. 1, turn that shoulder. 2, turn the shoulders. 3, rotate. 4, rotate. From an angle so you can see. From here, I'm protecting my shoulder. Protecting my chin with my shoulder. And step out. 1, rotate. 2, 3, 4, rotate that body. And again, with a little bit more rhythm. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come back. Always keep your eyes forward. Don't do the hook and turn your body. Always keep your eyes focused forward. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. On the bag now. Let's do a couple more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice how the bag is moving. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want that bag to move. This is 230, 250 pounds. If you're hitting it like this, and you're rocking it, imagine what you're doing to a full-size human. It doesn't mean you have to throw like this. You don't have to throw like that. You're going to break yourself. If you just learn how to use proper body mechanics, you're going to learn to be efficient. And that's what I want you to do with your punches. Be efficient, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. Okay, so I want you to practice that jab, cross, hook, cross. Alrighty, I hope you enjoyed those first 3 punches, the jab, the cross, and the hook. And more importantly, I hope you enjoyed those first 4 combinations. If you practice those combinations, you are going to start developing the skills necessary to be able to have good, strong, efficient punches. And that's what I want. I don't want you just swinging for the fences like Rocky, right? I want you to develop good technique. So, great thing about this video is you can go back into the description and you can look at the timestamps of each one of those combinations and of each one of those punches, so that way you can keep on coming back and revisiting this and looking at each specific technique and then getting a nice game plan for how you are going to practice. Now, if you've noticed, yes, just doing some simple punches, you're going to work up a little bit of a sweat, and that's good. You want that sweat. You want your body to breathe a little bit. There's several different exercises that you can do, and here is what I suggest. One of my favorite exercises is going to be just doing a timed round. Yeah, a timed round. So what I'll do is I'll do each one of those 4, actually I'll do 5 combinations. I'll throw a jab as just one of my combinations. It's not a combination per se, it's just a punch. But I'll do jab, then I'll do jab cross, then I'll do jab, jab, cross, then I'll do jab, cross, hook, then jab, cross, hook, cross. And so I'll do those over and over and over and over and over again for a minute. If that's easy, then I'll go 2 minutes. If that's easy, then I'll go 3 minutes. I'll do a 3-minute round of that. And so it's like doing an actual boxing or sparring round. You're just throwing punches. I'll move around the bag and I'll just punch. Or you can shadow box, which is doing that same thing in the air. Now, as you're moving, as you're punching, you're probably noticing that you use a lot of your core. So you're going to have to take some time and develop your core muscles. Now, the one exercise that I recommend beyond any other for core exercise is a static ab, a plank. Yes. Now, there's many different variables of a plank. First, there's the static ab where you just hold it, a low plank position. Pretty easy stuff. You just hold it. Now, you try to gauge how long you can. I'll time myself. I'll try to go for a minute. When that's easy, I'll do a minute and a half, then I'll do 2 minutes. Just see how long you can go. If you can do it 30 seconds, you are doing good. Most people at about that 20, 30-second range, if they haven't been used to using their abdominal muscles, are gonna start shaking, and that's good. That's what you want. You wanna get that muscle shake, and then push it for as long as you can. Another great way for you to practice too is to do little circuit drills, which means that I'm going to do 30 seconds of a boxing combination, and then I'll do 30 seconds of an exercise. Another exercise that you can do to help develop core strength and shoulder strength is something called a shoulder touch. It's a really easy exercise, starts off like a high push-up position, and what you do is you keep your core and your shoulders still, and you alternate hands and touch your shoulders. It's a really great exercise to start developing some strength in those shoulders, but also to make sure that you're also working on your high plank position. And finally, one of the exercises I really enjoy doing is just throwing my punches in front of a mirror. A mirror is going to be able to show you all the openings that you have. And when you're looking at yourself throwing the techniques, you can actually dissect the problem points and the areas that you're not doing it just right. You'll be able to see what part that you're aiming with on that knuckle. You'll also be able to see if your head is open. So throwing your punches in slow motion in front of the mirror is going to help you develop that fine motor skill that you're going to need so you can actually develop those key points of those punches and make sure that you're doing it right. And there you have it, everybody. That is your punching class. Class number 2 of this 6-week basic course. Remember, if you haven't already, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and that way you can be notified when we come out with the next class, which is going to be next week, where I get to show you one of the strongest kicks in the martial arts. That's right, one of the strongest is also one of the most basic kicks. That's right, it is going to be a lot of fun, so I can't wait to see you in the next class.